All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Self-Defense Martial Arts Podcast. Um, I guess, this has become a habit lately. So, even though it wasn't originally uh, planned like this, but it just turned into it. So it is what it is. Today, I'm going to be discussing several topics with a friend of mine. Um, we're going to discuss um, topics like uh, the how effective morals are for self-defense and and effective self-defense technique, like pretty much explaining what works and what doesn't work in self-defense and other topics as they come along. So without further ado, I'm gonna just jump right into it. So um, I'd like to welcome our guest. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about you?
Pretty good. I'm pumped up for this.
Yeah, me too, man.
Always pumped up for this. So, which topic do you want to talk about first, or do you have any in mind that you want to go over?
One that kind of hits me the most is, we can start on is the morals because, like what you say, it's the morals is what thing what really, what martial art really has, and it teaches us how to really basically like understand, the concepts and understand the disciplines of each martial arts. So we should go over the morals first for that.
All right. So, yeah. With the morals, I think honestly, I think that that's I feel like in a way that's been lacking, like in the self-defense
Hmm.
community. Like I feel like everyone likes to talk about um techniques and stuff like that, but hardly anybody talks about the morals, like living a moral life, changing your lifestyle, um,
Hmm.
basically showing respect, showing, um, you know, basically showing respect, practicing the golden rule. Um, and a lot of times that those things make a huge difference in defending yourself. Like you would be surprised how many violent encounters you can avoid if you just practice the golden rule, you know.
Hmm.
And
And,
go ahead.
and yeah, like sorry for interruption, but yeah, I know really, it's a good thing to really understand the concept of, you know not just respecting yourself, but to respect your opponent because it's not about and to respect yourself as well because not only are you um, not only are you expressing yourself through your movement and all that stuff, but you're basically respecting your body because martial arts is it's an exercise as well. It's there to train your body, to train your limbs to the absolute limit, and you're basically defending yourself the best way possible. So I feel that the morals for each martial arts, not just one martial art, but every martial art, everyone should have a moral, of their lifestyle, like what they do, how do they, how are they able to adapt moves and all that stuff to their martial arts, or how do they adapt, other things, that comes in with their martial art that can help them with their bodies. So,
Right. And see, yeah, see, like on the streets, like people. I mean, a lot of times people, they they tend to get riled up, and they tend to, um, it situations tend to escalate very quickly. Like some someone gets mad, then the other person gets mad, then they get in an argument, and then they start fighting, and before you know it, the situation turns deadly, and then people get hurt, and so really the best way to avoid that is simply by basically not doing what your attacker wants, which is to escalate the situation and be disrespectful and basically being an instigator where you instigate violent conflicts and stuff like that. Um, so if you don't play your attacker's game and you try to you just practice nonviolence and stuff like that, then that can really go a long way in saving your life and stuff like that. And so that can really help you um, pretty much defend yourself because a lot of these guys they don't like they usually attack because you're because you're either you're bad mouthing them or you got involved in something or something that you shouldn't have and stuff like that. So you know
hmm
that's uh, that's why that's pretty much why they end up you know that's pretty much why they end up attacking is for that reason. So like
yeah, yeah, and I agree with that too. Like, yeah, like these guys, we don't know how, it could be any guy, and they can just go out there and just, it's not like in the movies where, oh, their moves are predictable. You know what they're gonna do. No, they're gonna be really unpredictable, like, because you don't know that person, and you don't know what style they're gonna use. You're
yeah,
because yeah, because that person can be using, for example, he can be using Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, yet you won't even know it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu until he does it. He takes you, he grapples you, and he slams you to the ground. Like, these are kind of common sense to really use those, and you have to really learn what your opponent is trying to do. Like, okay, your opponent's hand may be down. He may like try to act all cool, like, and everything, but then once he lands that attack, you have to understand what he's doing. Like, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. How am I gonna counter? How am I gonna get out of this situation? And so, you really need to have that focus, that quickness, that quick time event, in those video games, those quick time events, to really think, oh, what should I do? Um, should I counterattack? Should I grab him? Should I grapple? It's all in the mind. It's all quick thinking. So, yeah, and these guys, they can be a short guy. Yet the short guy can be so strong. He could take down a bigger person. So, we don't know what these people are up to. So yeah, it's a good thing to be prepared, because Yeah, they may look intimidating, they may not look intimidating, but through their mind, we don't know what they're thinking. They may think, oh, they're gonna take us down, and then they're gonna kill us later, But it's that good mindset to really focus and to really have that understanding of, what you kind of need to really predict your opponent, So.
Right. And uh, I think that's pretty much the the scary. I think that's the scariest truth about combat is that it's it's really unpredictable. You just can't predict what your opponent's gonna do on the street. Like they could be they could you don't know what style. First of all, you don't know what style they're gonna practice. Like you don't know what style they're gonna use against you. You don't know what weapons they have. You don't know um, who they have with them, helping them. There's just a lot of things that you don't know. You don't know who you don't know who they're connected with. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff, and all you can do is pretty much adapt to their movements and what they do. Um, and
Hmm.
but it really it just boils down to just avoiding um, violent conflicts at all costs. Like just like one of the ways to avoid that is through like I said, like practicing the golden rule and respecting your neighbors or stuff like that. Um, Respecting those around you, and because and I mean, it's not a full, it's not a foolproof way of getting out of every situation, but because some people, unfortunately, there's some people who are gonna prey on the innocent, and they're gonna try to attack you no matter what you do. So you I mean you use um so you pretty much use the your physical techniques as a last resort in those cases. But usually, what you want to do is you just you just want to um, you just want to overall practice some healthy lifestyle changes. Like just
Hmm.
be respect. Like I said, and when I was like um, cause I lived I lived in the hood, and
Hmm.
people there, they don't mess around. Like they have there's a lot of shootouts and stuff, and a lot of people basically like people looking for conflict. So, if you go around mouthing off and trying to be disrespectful, trying basically doing that stuff, then then somebody's basically just just gonna somebody could basically just shoot you and
Yeah.
and it's that easy, that quick, and there's like I don't know the exact details, but I mean that's what I heard in my that's what I heard in my area. So it's it's
Hmm.
common. It's those situations are common. So, uh, but based on what I've heard though, like I've heard that is usually usually in those situations is usually um revolves around involves two people getting in an argument or a beef or something like that or somebody got involved in a like in the drug business or something. So so yeah, I mean that's one thing I learned is how is from all that is just the importance of respect, because
Yeah.
you don't if as long as you respect everyone, as long as you treat everyone the same, then they're really not going to mess with you. But if you know, if you go around disrespecting everybody, thinking you're tough and invincible, then eventually you're going to come across the wrong person and you're going to get dealt with. Like simple as
Hmm.
that. Like it's happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I agree too, because yeah, like in the neighborhood, if you live in a neighborhood where it's all I won't say it's gang related, but I'm just saying that it's you know that if you say something, it's gonna go around. Uh, and yeah, like I agree with you said. If you mouth off saying, "Oh yeah, I'm tough," I could beat everyone. I could take you down. I could take everyone down in less than, this time, this kind of time. And you keep doing that, there are going to be people out there, they're going to come out and they're going to be like, show me what you got. And if you can't, and if you could walk the walk, but you can't, or if you could talk the talk but can't walk the walk, you can't really do that. And yeah, like you need to kind of show respect, because there's always going to be that one person who's going to be bigger than you, who's going to be tougher than you, and he's going to drag you down. So you can't just go mouthing off that you can beat everyone just because you learn this new technique and all that. And I understand to that person's concept that, oh, just yeah, like I learned a new technique, that's cool and all, but you just learned it. That's the point. It's not gonna be effective as if as if you learned it, as if you keep doing that move or you keep practicing for a long time. You just learned it. It's gonna be really new. You're not gonna pull it off more often than you can when you practice throughout the year. And I understand that those kind of people, like, they go mouthing off. Like, I understand that they want to prove their point that, oh, they're kind of strong and all that stuff. But then at the same time, they have to understand that you know strength is not everything. And plus, just because you finish martial arts, or you done this and you finished a class and now you know this martial art, that doesn't prove the point that that you're good. There may be someone who's out there in the world right now who studies the same martial art as what they're doing, and yet they're much better. And yet they don't brag about it. They may know more than the person who's bragging like 10 to 12 years or just a couple of years, and yet they don't brag about it because they respect what others have to, they respect other martial arts, they respect other styles of martial arts or any fighting style, and they don't go out mouthing or being cocky or anything. They keep their mouth shut. They do what they do what's best. They do them, and they respect what others have to say about them. They don't criticize. They don't say I'm better than you, and you're just saying that. They're doing their best to keep themselves calm and to just do what they just go on their everyday lives. Just like what any human would do. They just go out their life, don't go running off mountain, just shouting, saying, I'm that good, I can kick anyone's butt. They keep it to themselves because they know that, yes, they know that they're good. They think that they're good, but they always understand that there's going to be that one person who's better, who's much stronger, or who's much smarter than me, and that they can beat me up. So that's why it's an understanding of, respecting your opponent, and plus you're respecting others too, because disrespecting other styles is going to get you beat up, and plus it's going to get you, you're going to be embarrassed too, because like how they say, like, through history, there's like these cocky fighters, and they mouthed off saying, oh, they're good and all that stuff, but then, one day, like, a guy comes up and he's much better, and yet, he comes up, he says, if you say what you say, show me what you got, and if you prove to me that, what you're saying is true, then I'll agree with you. And, the whole shenanigan goes, and the dude who challenged them, he wins, and then he proves that he's like, you know what, you're saying all this, but your techniques are, they have flaws, so there's no point of you guys mouthing off, so that's why, I agree with everything you say, like, people who mouth off, they should stop, because I understand if you want to promote your style of mixed martial arts or martial arts, promote it. Don't mouth off saying that's best. Just say, "Oh, come learn this," because um, like what we were discussing, um, there are going to be ways where the student's going to leave the teacher if he or she feels that that style is not as good as another style, and they're gonna go learn that style. So that's why I'm agreeing, like, respect your opponent, and really respect, anyone, respect the community, and don't go mouthing off. So yeah.
And I noticed that people who do that, they act all disrespectful. They insult other people. Like they're usually the ones who get beat up like in public. Like I've
Mhm.
seen, like I've seen some YouTube videos where that's happened before. Like this guy, what's his name? Charlie Zenoff. I can't pronounce his last name. I think it's Charlie Zelenoff. He it was a it was this troll who he was trying to intimidate or trying to, I don't know if he tried to intimidate. Oh yeah, he tried to intimidate was it Deontay Wilder, who was a undefeated boxer, and he was trying to like, pretty much challenge him to a fight or something like that, and trying to.
Mhm. Yep.
And he said I'm gonna he said he was gonna kidnap his daughter or something like that, or he said something about his daughter, and then so he got mad, and then they were like, okay, finally, like Deontay Wilder agreed to fight him in a
I,
boxing gym.
I,
And
I'm just like shocked how this. Okay, I don't wanna swear, but it's like
go ahead,
this
go ahead.
stupid. Yeah, like this stupid guy, you're gonna threat a boxer who has more boxing skills than this loser here, and you're gonna threat him saying that you're gonna do something to his daughter just so that he can accept the fight. You know that this guy's a boxer,
Exactly.
and yeah, I heard about this guy, yeah, and this guy, this loser, this troll, goes around messing around with boxers, and he challenges them. Yet he loses every fight, and yet he claims that he's the best fighter. He's the best boxer. No, you're not. You're just a troll. I mean, if you train and if you practice and if you respect, because I feel like his moral is basically just, oh, like I can beat you up, and then in the end, you see the video, he gets his ass whooped like 3 minutes later, and it's like, dude, what's up? You just got your ass whooped.
He
So
got
all that talk,
demolished.
yeah, all that talk for nothing. Come on, man. Come
I
on,
was
bro.
I was dying when I saw that video. And then at the end he said, I'm still the best. Like you ain't.
Yeah, that got me off guard too. Like, you still the best, yet 3 minutes ago you got your butt whooped by a professional boxer who literally wiped the ground with you just 3 minutes ago, and you still call yourself the best, dude. Like, I'm I'm surprised no one out in the streets have hunted this dude before, because I feel like a guy like that would get hunted down for saying some stupid stuff like that. And that's the most stupidest thing you would do to yourself. Like, I'm not trying to bash on him, but I'm just trying to say that he just needs to respect people. He just needs to respect others, because even before that, he got beat up by, I think, was that 19 or 20-year old, and yet he got I think 3 minutes into the fight, or a couple minutes in the fight, he gets out of the ring and he comes back and he tries to sneak attack the dude, or he tries to land what was it, I forgot what it's called, but he tried to land like a secret punch, or like a surprise hit.
Yeah, sucker
But then,
punch.
yeah, he tried to land a sucker punch, but then, it backfires him. And it's like, sucker punch, that's a dirty move, and in boxing they don't like dirty moves, like, and and if you want to, because if you use a dirty move on an opponent, or you try to sucker punch on any dirty move, that's gonna tell the opponent, oh, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna, like, if you want a dirty fight, I'm gonna fight dirty like you. I'm not gonna just use my fists. I'm gonna use my legs. I'm gonna go all MMA. I'm gonna take you down. And so that's why I hate this. I hate this troll so much, because this troller goes around like saying that he's the best of the best, yet he gets defeated every challenge, and that just sucks, dude. You're killing yourself. You're killing yourself, like, slowly and slowly. And I don't care if he hears this podcast. I don't care if he bashes on me and you. I don't give a crap. I'm just telling him that he needs to respect people. He needs to really stop what he's doing, because as of right now, with this pandemic, people are really cautious right now, and people are really on the offenses and on the defenses. So if he really wants to mouth off and really wants to, you know, get on with it, then he needs to kind of walk the walk, because he can't walk the walk. He just talks to talk. He gets smacked. Imagine someone in the streets grabbing him, taking him down, beating his ass, and what's he gonna do? He's gonna use the boxing stance. I mean, sure. I mean, that's effective, but if that person is a martial artist that he's going up against as a martial artist, you're screwed, dude. That dude uses legs. That dude uses knees, elbows. So you can't do anything but defend yourself and use your hands, unless if he knows how to do martial arts. Good for him. But for all I know, this dude only knows boxing. And for his track record, he suffers from a lot of losses. So,
Yeah, yeah, and the thing about it is, um, I don't think it was a smart idea for Deontay Wilder to have accepted his challenge, because now he just gave that troll fame that he didn't deserve. Like now everybody knows who that troll is, and he's gained like some some kind of fame because of it. So unfortunately, like if it were like if it were me, I would not have responded to that. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up. Like when it comes to self defense, like you can never let like you can never let your enemy control your emotions, because
mhm,
once you do, then they're pretty much luring you into a trap, and um putting you right where they want you, like, and And with that troll, like if I were Deontay Wilder, I would have just ignored it, like blocked him or something, or blocked his phone. I just would have just not responded at all. Like just just uh
Yeah, yeah,
because
and I agree too.
because I mean it's really not worth it because now like now I mean now that troll like he's got a platform. Now he basically built his career off of that. So I was like if I mean I would like I honestly I just hate seeing a troll like get that degree of success. Like come on now. Like
Hmm.
it's just not fair. Like how is a troll gonna get famous off of doing that and he's not even like he's a complete amateur, knows nothing about boxing and there's boxers out here who are really trying hard and they're training hard and
Hmm.
they're still not getting recognized. So
Yeah.
I'm like, no, there's something wrong with this picture. Like something, you know?
Eh, but hey, like what a lot of people say, there's a sucker born every minute, dude, and that's just him, you
Yeah.
know.
But
So
at
yeah,
least,
so
go ahead.
yeah, and it just sucked to see to have people like him go around, you know. Yeah, because like I'm gonna reference this from Kill Bill from was it when Pai Mei was when the bride came to Pai Mei, you know, and just I'm I'm taking a quote where he says where he's battling the bride and then the bride's using a sword and he's like your swordsman or your sword skills is amateur at best. That's what I'm thinking about this dude and I'm like, yeah, your boxing is amateur at best. You know, you need to really go back and really train your ass off with all your might because you're getting beaten by these professional boxers, even boxers who train for like 2 or 3 years, yet you still get your butt whooped from them, and you call yourself the best? Nah, nah, dude. I think he lost to Ray Jones Sr. He lost to Ray Jones, and oh man, he still loses to him, and yet he tries to sucker punch him when the match was over, and you try to sucker punch an old man, an old boxer, you try to sucker punch an elderly man, dude. No, that's a coward right there. That's someone who's a coward, and yet he has all this fame, you know. And you know he for me he's gonna be known as the guy who gets his ass whipped, yet still talks crap about how good he is, you know. And that's really sad because in this world we have people who are like that who they say that they're so good but in the end they get their butt whooped so much they still consider themselves the best, you know. And it's like, no, you need to train. If you defeated people, if you have defeated people like a lot in your career, if you won matches and they were legit, like I understand, like okay, this dude is good. This dude does have a track record of winning, but this troll has lost most of his matches, and I don't understand why he keeps promoting his name so much. He's not even he's not even a real boxer to even start, you know. So he can't be going out saying I can beat these boxers, you know. Because if he fought a professional, if he fought Mike Tyson would have murdered his ass. Dude, like Mike Tyson is strong enough. He's able to punch a guy like just knock out one dude. Like even in Hangover, he knocked out one dude with a single punch. Yet this troll thinks he's good. No, Mike Tyson will put you in your place, son. So
He would have demolished him like one hit. Like
yeah, yeah. And from what I've seen from this troll, his fighting style is his boxing footwork. You know, he his footwork is okay. His footwork is not bad, but it's just how he eliminates an attack and everything. he's kind of a mix between a slugger and a and an outboxer, but more of a slugger. And for what I learned from sluggers is that sluggers they could take a hit, they could take a beating, yet they still come in twice as hard. But for a guy like him, a scrawny guy, no, no. Mike Tyson is the epitome of sluggers. You can hit Mike Tyson as hard as you want. Mike Tyson will just keep going at it. It's like
Yeah,
you can hit me with one punch, but my punch is twice as hard, and I'm gonna knock you out with this one. Mike Tyson can do that. This dude, not as much. This dude gets hit with the single hard hit. He's gonna go out the ring. He's gonna say, like time out. Oh, I'm gonna, I'm gonna take a rest, and he's gonna sucker punch you. And right after that, he's not gonna admit that he sucker punched you. He's gonna be like, oh, the match already started. No, he's gonna throw some stupid excuse. And I just feel bad for this guy. Like, really? You you really gonna do that? Come on, man. Aren't you scared of this world? This world is filled with bad people, and if you keep mouthing off, people are gonna find you. They're gonna want to challenge you, and then once they beat you up, and if you still say you're the best, even though you have all this fame, we're gonna we're basically gonna downgrade you. We're gonna embarrass you. We're gonna expose you to the public. We're gonna expose you more. So I don't understand this guy. I hope he stops. I hope that if he wants to go into boxing, at least take some boxing lessons and at least try to practice being a boxer. Don't go out and mouth off saying you're the best boxer out there. No, at least take some class. At least train yourself to the absolute limit so that you know how to box and so that you know how to really like find your way to know how to box. So yeah.
yeah, totally. And yeah, like I was saying, I was thinking of like I said, don't let your enemy control your emotions because like once you do that, he can pretty much have you right where he wants you. Like
Mhm.
it happens pretty much very often in street attacks. Like uh somebody provokes you or somebody provokes someone else to I mean of course somebody there's ambushes, but there's some cases uh where people some aggressors they provoke others to fight them, and the moment that that person swings on them or something, um, then that's when things escalate from there, and they get violent, and they that's when they make a mistake, very fatal mistake, like when I was sparring with people before, a long time ago, um, we would we would we would try to outsmart our opponents. We would purposely lower our guards or something like that, and then
Mhm.
we would pretty much trash talk each other to try, to try to get them to attack us or something, like to basically take a shot at us, and when they did, then we would quickly like counterattack or attack and pretty much beat them to the punch. And but sometimes of course
Mhm.
sometimes it didn't work because when your guard is down, like at least we couldn't bring it up in time to defend against the attack. So, but I mean, sometimes it was a 50-50 kind of thing. But either way, like they would, they made the mistake of it when the times it did work. The opponents made the mistake of rushing in, and that's what pretty much
Mhm.
caused us to land. counterattacks or attacks right into the exposed areas. So in self-defense, like you gotta keep your emotions in check. You gotta control your emotions because if you don't, like you could actually like you could pretty much beat someone to death and not even realize it because you're so angry and then you just committed manslaughter or murder and you could pretty
Yeah.
much yeah once you do that like you're screwed like you're going you might end up in prison or who knows like
Mm,
that's why
and I
go ahead.
oh yeah, and I agree too. Like yeah, um, even though some people in martial arts they say, oh, anger is good because anger gives you strength. But no, anger you lose you lose your humanity too. Like yeah,
Right.
you go on a bit of rage. You don't know what you're doing. Yeah, before you even know it, the person's already dead. Yet you still beating on them. It's like, dude, yeah, you just committed manslaughter. You just committed murder. Like that's not, you know, it turns out like from a fight to like a murder to like a
Homicide.
like a mass murder. Yeah, like a
Yeah.
homicide. So things like this, it goes like it's it happens in the real world where the person's getting beat up, and he has the opportunity to take the other person, and when he does and he takes it, he beats his opponent so bad that he's not even thinking of what he's doing, he or she's doing, and before they have time to think, that person's already dead, that person's already gone, and yet they're still beating on them. And then once they stop, it's already too late. Like that person's dead. You just committed murder. So you're if you get away with it, you're gonna live with it for the rest of your life. It's gonna haunt you till the day you die. So if you get away with it, if you don't get away with it, it's still gonna haunt you. And plus, in prison, if other inmates know you're I have no, I haven't been in jail, so that's a good thing. But I know that in prison, if an inmate knows that you are, a murderer, ooh, good luck defending yourself, because I bet inmates in there will like mess that person up, and that's not a good picture to see. So,
Yeah. And yeah, that's why it's so important to pretty much assess the situation and um use only the appropriate amount of force um
hmm
as necessary. Like use like you gotta adjust the level of force. Like okay, like am I gonna use like I'm only gonna like you have to think okay, is this a deadly situation? What kind of situation am I dealing with? And and then you have to use the techniques that you've learned to pretty much deal with the particular situation. Um, and you have to pretty much not go overboard. Not
hmm
I mean you really can't take anything personal in
hmm
in self-defense because like the moment that you let like your emotions take over, then that's when you're gonna screw up and you're gonna make a mistake and and then your opponent's gonna get the upper hand and
Yep.
stuff like that. Like not good at all. Um.
Yep.
So so which brings me to another point that I wanted to talk about. Like I wanted to talk about the I really wanted to talk about the this coronavirus. This the what do you think about the racist attacks towards Asians and like Chinese people because of because of the virus?
Um, I think it's. it's a really scary situation, because you know, and it's not just Asians. It's not just the Chinese that are getting targeted, but all Asians are getting targeted. And it's scary to say that because as an Asian, you're told, our parents, they tell us to be really cautious and to really be, mind, to really have common sense of what your surroundings are, because you don't know who's going to attack you. You don't know who's going to come behind you and kill you. And it's a scary situation that we are in right now. And it's sad to say, because the suck thing is, a lot of racism is going on, and I'm gonna compare this to Ebola. Like back then, Ebola, like the reason why Ebola hasn't been that big was because I'm just gonna say it out loud. I'm just gonna say it because this is just my mindful. But I feel like the United States, they're not doing a lot to save the corona. And I'm not bashing our president, but I'm just saying he says that we're doing a great job. No, he's lying. It's not, we're not doing, the United States, if you guys are doing a good job or a great job, we wouldn't have this situation. Coronavirus would have been gone a long time ago, in April or March. Yet it still lingers on, and everyone is still scared. Even the Asian community is still scared to this day to even go outside, because some of them are scared that they're going to get beat up, Oh, just because of the coronavirus. They get blamed for it. And I understand that, the coronavirus is scary, but there was this post on Facebook that said, no, I'm just going to take some words off, but chicken pox were deadly. Ebola was much deadly. Yet we didn't call it chickenpox, or we didn't call it the white virus. Ebola, we didn't call it the black virus. Why do you pick on corona? Just because Asians. Why do you pick on corona so much? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. And and that hurts. That, for me, it definitely hurts. It's like a needle stabbing, or no, not a needle, it's like a knife stabbing me in the heart. It hurts so much because I see a lot of Asian, even in the news and on Facebook, you hear Asian people getting beat up, and you're hearing a lot of stuff going through, and that sucks because of what's going on right now, the pandemic, the quarantine, all this stuff. And you're hearing about Asian people getting beat up for no apparent reason because, of this virus. And that really scares me to really go out and really, because I feel like if I have to go out, I have to arm myself so that I don't get attacked. And I can't go near a person. I can't go near a person without having to put my hand where, whatever weapon I have, like close to me, because I don't know if that person's going to come and attack me. I don't know if that person has a gang that's going to come and ruffle me up. I'm scared to go anywhere. Even to a grocery store. When you're by yourself or when you're with your parents, you got to be super cautious. It's really scary to go out there. And just seeing these people picking on Asians, I really think that they just have no life. I just think that they just picking on Asians just because this whole pandemic thing is going on. It just sucks to see that these people have that time to go out to beat up Asians and to just say it was because of the coronavirus. It's our fault. No, it's not. I mean, I understand that this stuff, but it happens. It already happened. We just have to fight it. Instead of fighting, we should just come together and rebel, or else find a solution to beat coronavirus. You know?
Right.
So, yeah, so instead of finding Asians and being low lives and going out and beating them, why don't we just work together and just ask the president or just do something to find a cure for corona? We need to help this planet because there are people who want this pandemic over. So there's no point on fighting Asians because it's not just Asians who are getting the virus. Everyone is getting it. Yet you're beating up Asians just because we brought it over. It already happened, dude. Come on, 2019. Yet right now it's just because it's big. They target Asian people. No, come on, man. It's just it's just because of all the stuff that's been going on. I feel like you know, it's it's just sad to just hear this. I really think that it's just really sad to just see that all the stuff that's going around. Um, Even for me as an Asian, it's really scary to go out and to really have that like mindset of I need to really be cautious of what's going on because if I don't know because I don't know who's out there and I don't know when I'm gonna survive because I might die the next day, I might die a week later. Someone might take me to the back alley and beat me up and kill me after. But I don't know what's going on, so yeah, it's pretty scary and pretty, you know, pretty like sad to kind of hear and see what the world's going on right now.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, how is it Chinese people's fault that this happened? Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah. See?
I fail to see how Chinese people are to blame for the Wuhan virus. Like,
Yeah, see?
it's like I've actually seen yeah, I've seen news clips of of people like white people, black people, um and other minorities. They're basically like being racist towards Asians and Chinese people. They said, "Oh, you have the coronavirus," something like that. And it's just
Yeah,
so dumb. Like,
it's pretty, it's pretty, it's pretty sad. Like, I think in Minnesota there was a woman. I don't know if this relates to the coronavirus, but there is this Asian woman, and it was just down my block, and this Asian woman got beat up, and I was thinking, and she got beat up by these two black guys, and I think a couple of days later, these some people on Facebook found out who these guys were, and like the Asian community was just pissed. Like in Minnesota, it was like it sucks to really hear that people have time to do this when they don't have time to commit to the coronavirus and to just accept that it wasn't the Asian people's fault that brought it over, because stuff happens. It's not Asian, like we didn't do it on purpose. The Asian people, the Chinese people, they didn't do it on purpose. It's something that occurred. It wasn't that we hate this world so much we're gonna spread this virus. No, it happened for a reason. It's not that they wanted to do it. No, who wants to create a virus? Who wants to have that virus? So that's why it sucks to see people do that to each other and to target Asians because they think that's our fault for doing this and causing all this stuff, and it just sucks to see how racist and how stupid it turns out to be.
right. And and the other thing I wanted to address was how like how do they even know that the virus actually came from what the news says it did. Like the news said that it came from bats being sold in a Chinese market, and it's like I don't know, like that doesn't seem like, and then it doesn't seem like it seems too far fetched. Like it seems too oversimplified. Like
Hmm.
I didn't exactly do my research. I mean, but I I mean to me it's like it just doesn't really make any sense like because people like they before they like yeah like Chinese people they eat of all kinds of animals, um they cook them before they eat them, so
Mm-hmm.
that 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 would pretty much eliminate any sorts of bacteria or maybe a bunch of viruses, stuff like that. I mean, maybe not all viruses. I don't know, but but yeah. So and then but these people they think that because it's because Chinese people they eat all kinds of food and it's like no, it's like where do they come from these I don't even know where they come up with these conclusions from. And then
Mm-hmm.
and then there was like a video I saw of this it was a news video of this Chinese girl eating bat soup and she was getting blamed for spreading the Wuhan virus. Like they said, oh, um, they said this is believed to be uh, the bat soup that spread the virus, that first spread the virus, or something like that. It was stupid. I was like, how do they know that? How do they know that the Wuhan virus came because this girl was eating bat soup? Like what?
Yeah, yeah, like that. That's how would they know that? That's just a thing. It's not that a person. It's not that it's it came from this person. Like, yeah, how would you know it came from that person? It's not. Maybe someone's just spreading false claims on something, and that's just how it is. Or it's just dumb to kind of hear this stuff because a lot of things goes on, and yet they say that it's all because of this and that. But what if that person is spreading false claims, though?
Exactly.
So
And
yeah.
and on the news though, she was getting so much backlash that the reporter I think the reporter mentioned how people were blaming her for the virus for spreading the virus or something like that, and
Mhm.
and and her not knowing what was going on. Like I guess she was just like she didn't know what was going on, so she just apologized for it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I feel super bad for her. Like it's because she didn't deserve all that criticism. She didn't deserve all that back talk and everything. And I feel like she deserves better because just because she ate bad, that doesn't give the people the audacity to say all that crap to her. And it really sucks to really hear, what's going on. And I, I feel so bad for her. Like there's a point where I'm just like, dang, I feel bad for this woman, and yet these people are being like jerks about it. They're being really dumb about it, and I just feel bad for all these people saying all this stupid stuff. It just hurts, because like as an Asian person, it it's sad to really hear what people's thoughts are, and they say it without even thinking. They say all the stuff, and before you know it, when the coronavirus, when all this is all over, they're gonna be like, oh, we're, we like didn't know what we were talking about. We're gonna do this, the American people, they're gonna do all this stuff. They're gonna say all this stuff. It's gonna be like, no, you knew what you did. You knew what you said. No, your apology, your BS apology. No, I'm not taking that for granted. I'm not taking that, or not taking that for granted, but I'm not taking that as a apology. I'm taking that as you trying to act like you're sorry, but it's like saying I'm sorry, not sorry. You're just trying to do that so that you can make other people think that, oh, they apologize. So, we have to take that apology. No, I'm not taking that lightly. No, it's a serious offense. And once the coronavirus is over, all this is history. this will be known as the year that 2020 will be known as the year of the coronavirus, and that's going to go down in history. Rather people or either people like it or not, it's going to be the history where Asians were targeted and a lot of them were attacked, discriminated, and really, that's how bad it is.
Right, right, and they're gonna apologize because they're gonna try to save face, and they're gonna try to save their reputations and avoid getting exposed as racists
Hmm.
because and even though it's clear as day that what they did was pretty racist and really no apology is gonna fix it like and and it's not even I don't think it's even the Wuhan virus is like it's not even about the Wuhan virus. Like they just have like this long standing sort of subconscious level type of racism towards Asians. They had it to begin with. Like 'cause
Hmm.
there's no way they're gonna have it like they were gonna have it like as soon as this coronavirus uh pandemic started. Like I think they've been having it uh probably for generations, but no, they didn't want to say anything. But this is going to be the year like when people know that we're basically people's like hidden racism towards Asians was brought to light. You know, like they like because of their fear of getting the virus and stuff like that, their fear of dying and their fear of you know people's fear of being of their race being inferior or something like that and
Yeah,
it's
see?
it's just these it's just based on irrational fears that that don't make any sense and they're just taking out their fears on the other people who really have nothing to do with it like you
Hmm.
know and it's and I've seen I've seen some some comments on some comments on social media where like where white people or other races they would be like they would they would get in an argument and then they would tell some Chinese person or some Asian person like oh get away from me you might have the coronavirus or you're spreading the coronavirus or something like that and it was like
Yeah, it sucks because that's what when people argue to Asian people saying that you're this and that, and they bring up Corona. It's like you know not all Asians have coronavirus. You know that, right? And it wasn't anyone's fault that Corona started. So they don't know what they're talking about. All they're just trying to they're just trying to say that and it's really hypocritical because when Ebola came up, did we say, oh, did a lot of people get. I I feel like the coronavirus or how people are targeting Asians was just the same as how Black Lives Matter came, and
right
all that. And yeah, and it's wrong because, you're just taking your anger and you're just putting it out on people who don't even like go with the coronavirus. Even people that don't even have the coronavirus, yet they still get criticized for it because of, because you're Asian, because of your skin or your ethnicity and all that stuff. That's why it sucks so much for people to go out and really find, really like be themselves because they're criticized every day and it's scary for them to go out and really be themselves. And I understand through that as an Asian person because you know you don't want to be criticized as as that one person who, just because you're Asian, that doesn't mean that you created the coronavirus. No, it happened. Like what I said, it happened for a reason, and so you can't really blame people for that nonsense. So yeah, it just sucks to see that this whole world is going down in ruins because of this pandemic, and I feel so bad for those who have to suffer through that because it's not for the faint of heart too. And I feel like people who've been mistreated should be, they should be, they should have an apology saying that they're sorry because of all this is going on and all this is happening, instead of being criticized. And I feel that a lot of people should be given an apology for saying all that crap, saying all that stupid stuff, and yeah.
And you're right, you bring up a good point. Like nobody, when Ebola came out, nobody was saying, "Oh, well, that's that was a virus spread by black people." Nobody was targeting black people for that. At least
Mhm.
I don't think, or maybe, or if they, I mean, as far as I know, they haven't really been targeting black people because of that. Um, and same with the viruses that came from white people. Like nobody was saying anything about them. Like nobody was targeting them for the viruses that they spread. Like if you look in history, like you can see that white that uh that white people actually they actually killed off some civilizations, like partially because of the viruses they brought. But they don't. But they're not talking about that because like because they don't want like because then it would be seen as racist or something like that, and but I don't see why this virus, like I don't see what's so what's different about this virus, or like what's so um like why do we got to bring race into this virus, like what you know
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and it's just a sad thing too because like what I said earlier, when coronavirus is over, it's gonna go down in history as as the year, 2020. It's gonna be the year of the coronavirus because all this stuff is going on and all this crap is being targeted from Asians, and Asians will have to go through this like a lot, and it's gonna carry them down. Like, hey, like this is what happened, and this is what's been going on. Imagine having kids and kids learn about the coronavirus, and then we have to tell them about the bad things that've been going on, and imagine them being scared, being like, dang, those were bad times, that we lived in, and you're lucky that you don't have to live in those times because those times were like really bad, and you know, and we don't want our kids to go through a time like that too, because imagine if stuff like that really happened in the future, that would suck.
right.
So, so yeah, that's why I'm scared that kids will have to face this because, um, because that's what happens, and that's how the corona, that's how it's gonna be. So when kids, when kids are gonna be like, oh, like what happened? What was the coronavirus? We can't hide that secret from them forever because once they find out and once they ask us, have we survived the coronavirus? We can't lie to them. You know, we
Exactly.
we got yeah, we gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta tell them, because if we don't tell them, then it's gonna suck. They're gonna find out and they're gonna yell at us like, "Why didn't you tell us about coronavirus?" And it's like it's not that easy. Coronavirus was an evil thing. It wasn't as simple as you think it's gonna be. So this is why it's kind of a thing to kind of let a lot of people know about the coronavirus, when in the future, so that when they know about it, it's not a hard thing for them to really look through it and be like, hey, like because when I have kids one day, I want them to understand that coronavirus was not about the sickness and everything, but how people looked at society, how people were easily switching sides. Like, you know, some people they'll go and they'll be like, it's all of these people's fault, it's all this and all that. But in the end, it's like, in the end, when coronavirus is over, it's like, look how people were easily like switching sides. Like, oh, we're sorry that coronavirus did this, or we're sorry that we said this and that. We should have said that, and it's like it's too late because it's already happened. I understand that, like, you said this and you said that, but what's said is said. You can't take that back. No matter how hard you try, it's not gonna like change the fact that you said what you said. So,
Right, and that's why we're having this talk because I feel like it's important to openly discuss racism towards Asians, so so that at least like we could dispel some of the myths of surrounding it and surrounding the Wuhan virus and uh
hmm
and at least like decrease some of the racist attacks that have been going on. Um, which is a good part of self-defense. Um, but it's crazy how not only are Chinese people attacked, but it's pretty much all Asians, like Koreans, um, Filipinos, Singaporeans, Indonesians, everybody's getting attacked, and it's so ridiculous. Like
yeah, dude.
it's just like wow, like you're just assuming that all Asians have this disease. Like really, like even though
And yeah,
go ahead.
and that pisses me off too. It's like it's so bad and so like, yeah, it's so like getting me like to the point where I just want to, I just want to ball up my fist and like really like, you know, break something because of all this stupid stuff that's been going on. It triggers me. It's like, oh, I'm getting to the point where I want to punch something so hard, my fist breaks. So that's why, whenever I hear about all this other stuff, it it really makes me mad. It really ticks me off. Like, wow, like really, like I go through all this like this stupid stuff, and yet, you know, people have the audacity, have the rights to say whatever they want to say. But once this is all over, they come back and they're like, they're all sorry about what they have done. No, you, you did what you did, and you can't take back your word. That's why like a lot of people are so mad. It's because of all the stuff that they said and all the stuff that they've done. You can't take that back. So, I feel like when this whole coronavirus thing is all over, people are gonna be like, "Oh, we're sorry for the stuff we've done. We're sorry that we said this." No, you said what you said. You can't take that back. So,
Right. They're only saying that um because they still like I said, they still want to have a good standing with the Asian community. It's like they want to pretend to be their friend, but even though they're clearly not, like because I don't know, it's like they want um I think whites like I said in my other video, like whites they want the validation that Asians give them, or they want or they I don't know they seem to have this love hate relationship with them, like where like they like them because they're light skinned or something like that. But at the same time, they still think they're inferior because they're not white, you know? So,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, but like you said, like when all said and done, they're gonna apologize, and it's gonna be a BS apology just to save face and to not be seen as racist. And
Hmm.
even though we all know they're racist already, like there's really no apologizing because you've just exposed yourself to who you really are. So
Yeah.
and I think that they're just doing this because they think that the Asians won't fight back or something. They won't.
No, no,
They think. I mean,
no.
they wouldn't do this to black people because they know that they would get like. I mean, if they said like some racist stuff to to a black person like on the street, they would get knocked out. Like
Oh, heck yeah, they would, dude. No
they
joke.
they would yeah. I've seen a bunch of videos where uh white people they tried calling black people the N word and stuff like this, and the black people like they just knocked them out, like they just beat them up real bad. Like it
Hey,
was
man, you
crazy.
don't. Yeah, you don't use that against them, dude. Once you say that, that's like a death. That's like a death, like a death threat right there. Like that's just a suicide note right there.
Exactly.
So yeah, so be careful what you say because like I don't want Asian people to tone their skin to a lighter skin because they want to fit in. No, I want them to be themselves because as an Asian person, we're already unique. Dude, Asian people are half the population on this earth. So why become white,
Exactly.
This earth, yeah, half of this earth is already filled with Asian people already. So why aren't they proud of their own nationality, their own ethnicity? Because it's not just I see myself as a Korean person, or people may say that, but we fall into one category, and that's Asian. We fall into the Asian category. Just
Right.
because you're Korean, just because you're Japanese, Chinese, Thai, Filipino, that doesn't make any difference that you're not Asian. You're still Asian. You still have that category called Asian. You're still put
Right.
into that category. So I understand that they want to fit in, but you don't have to change your appearance. Like learning in middle school, you're always taught to be yourself and to be who you are and never change just because this person or these people, they're cool. Don't be the cool person, you know. So yeah, just be yourself and be who you are because you're unique in your own way.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
And like one of my friends said he said he said like these young black boys like they're crazy, like they're reckless, like he's talking about the the guys who actually like they actually they're thugs and everything, they carry guns around, and I said I said I said I bet you one of these racist white guys won't walk up to them and call them the N word.
Yeah, man. because they because they know in their mind that, oh, if I say that, I'm gonna get murdered, so I'm just gonna mind my own business, you know. But then when the coronavirus hits, oh, we should not pick on the black people. We should pick on the Asian people since they want to attack us. And it's like, no. Have you seen Asian people? Asian people have done a lot, dude. That's why we counterfeit all your stuff. That's why a lot of stuff are imported from China, Korea, a lot of stuff. There are white people who like K-pop. There's a lot of people who like Asian stuff who want to be Asians. So you could thank Asians for the culture because a lot of people do want There's a reason why there's Chinese buffets, a lot of Chinese stuff. There's a reason why, all the Asian stuff, And if you're gonna criticize about Asians, then why have Asians if, you know, if you're gonna say all this stuff about them, there's no point.
Yeah, it's because they want um it's because they want to be they want they want the culture, but they just don't want the people in it. Like, they don't want the people uh of the culture. Like, it's like, I mean, it's like it's typical white conquistador mentality where, like, they they stole the culture from they stole black people's culture, and now it's like black people pretty much have no culture, and so they had to pretty much kind of recreate it. And
Yeah,
now whites they're trying to steal that too. So,
yeah. See,
and that's what whites do. Like, they just steal culture. Like and they tried to like remove the minority, just wipe out the minorities from those cultures, and then try to whitewash it all, and make them. I mean, of course, they won't actually commit genocide, but I mean, I think now what they're doing is they're basically like kind of slowly um doing this cultural appropriation thing where they make themselves they try to make themselves trendy and everything for for celebrating Chinese culture or whatever, Japanese culture, and they're slowly pushing Asians out of the spotlight.
yeah.
So that way they won't get fame or recognition for the stuff they do. So it's really messed up.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I really don't know where this idea that Asian people won't fight back came from. Like, it's ridiculous. Like did I showed you that news article of a Chinese woman who chopped off her husband's
Oh no, no, no! Don't bring that up, dude. That actually got me like scared because I'm like, if I get married and this happens, I'm not gonna be able to, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to reproduce and have kids. So I have to be, yeah, it teaches me to be good to be to your wives, and be loyal because when your wife does that, it's gonna, yeah, it's gonna kill you. Uh,
Yeah,
I'm I, I'm grateful that none of that crap happened. So,
which
ooh,
brings me to my next point.
mhm,
That's why um situational awareness is so important. Like I talked about, um, in those types of situations, like you gotta know who you're dealing with. You gotta, pretty much know who you surround yourself with, and actually know, be able to tell the signs of a violent person. Because, like, I'm pretty sure that guy knew that his wife was violent beforehand. Like, there's no way. I don't think there's really no way for her to have done that without
mhm,
him at least seeing the signs but choosing to ignore them. And that's the scary. I think that's the scary thing about love is that you could be so in love with somebody, um, you don't see signs of a potentially violent person, um, or if you do see them, then you choose to ignore them until something like that happens, and then you're really screwed.
mhm,
When I read about that, I was shocked.
yeah,
that's that's crazy crap. Like, but I mean,
Hmm.
hey, I mean, Chinese women are submissive, right? Like,
Hey man, and like what I keep hearing too, like we're not supposed to hit women because in the U.S. it's wrong to hit a woman, but at the same time, it's like if a woman's gonna hit a dude, if they have no reason and they hit a dude, no, the dude has the right to fight back. It's like what I said. If you wanna talk the talk, if you wanna do all this, and you're not scared, okay, fine, I'm gonna bring it on. If it's like for example, if you see my small stature, like, oh yeah, like you're short, you can't defeat me. But once I go all out and I defeat you, that's when that's when you know that, oh, what I did is wrong, and this kid is strong. So if a woman's gonna hit a dude and the dude fights back, that's self defense right there. So.
yeah, right. And I've said this before too. I've said that to be honest, like it's not really cowardly or unmanly for a man to hit a woman if it's for self defense.
Mhm.
Like I don't agree with this whole notion that women could attack men and the man is supposed to just take the hits and not do anything back, not defend himself. Um, because for some reason, like the woman is weaker than the man and she's supposed to be not respected or something like that. And it's like, no, like the woman is attacking the man. Like she, she, I mean, I don't condone violence towards women, like, but I mean, if it's in that situation, like, you have a right to defend yourself, and it's not really like people think that it's people think that they patronize women and they think that they're doing a service to them
Mhm.
by they're somehow being honorable by by saying, "Oh, don't hit women," but they're really not because they're pretty much degrading women by saying that they're inferior to men and really like just saying like treating women like they're some fragile creatures that you just can't hit. It's just like it's pretty much insulting when you think about it.
Mhm.
It was like what is like Ronda Rousey or Holly Holm or all these female fighters and stuff. And they're far from stereotypical. Far from far from the stereotypical docile woman who's just supposed to take everything that men give to her.
Mhm.
I never really agreed with that mindset.
Yeah.
Um, so another thing I wanted to talk about was effective, like how to know if your techniques are effective for self defense.
Mhm.
But before I go into that, do you have anything else you wanted to add
Um.
to what we're
Yeah.
talking
Like. Yeah. Like. I think one more thing I just want to add is that I just hope that this world, it's a better place, and I hope that the sun. Oh my gosh, what am I saying? The sun shines on those, and and plus as a Christian too, like you learn to forgive them. Once this is over, I am able to forgive those who have done wrong to the Asian community. Um, you know, even though like even though like all the words that they said, like what I'm saying is like you can't take back what you said, but I still forgive you, I still love you, even though I don't know you. It shows that you have that passion to really love those people, even though you don't know them, because um, as as you go through, we're all humans. We all make mistakes and all that. So we're not perfect in our own mind. So it's good that that all this stuff is happening. I'm not saying it's good to condone violence, but that that one day they're gonna learn from it, and even if they still don't learn from it, it's a good example to kind of show to the world what people are doing these days because of stuff like this. And I want people to understand that all this stuff is going on, and that they should be cautious when another pandemic happens, in the next 20 or 30 years from now.
Right, right, and that's why it's really important to just prepare the future generations for this stuff because I'm pretty sure that racism is gonna continue, unfortunately, for generations. Hopefully, it becomes a smaller problem, or even or not even a problem at all. Like I hope it just goes away completely in the future. Um, but right now, we're just stuck with this problem, and we got to deal with
Hmm.
it. Um,
Hmm.
so I think the last topic that I can think of right now is is just knowing like which like how to find the effective self defense techniques. But
Okay.
I think so many. I think so. To be honest, I think so many people like they I feel like so many people like they don't understand um what makes a technique effective for self defense. They think it's all about hitting and stuff, and they think if their technique lands, then that means it's effective for self defense. It's like no, like like if you don't take out your attacker, then if you don't disable him or her fast enough, then you're not really defending yourself. You know, like like
Yeah.
I've been in sparring, I've been hit by taekwondo kicks like these I think I can't I don't know what they're called, but they look similar to these Muay Thai kicks, these thigh kicks to the shin bone. I think
Mm-hmm.
took I've took hits to the thighs. I think, and all they all they did was buckle me over. But it's like other than that, they didn't really hurt. Like they didn't really do much. They,
Mm-hmm.
it's like how it's like can I still attack you? If so, then then that means you failed to defend yourself. Because I can still do damage to you, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's why it's so important to to pick the right techniques to disable your attacker. Like I talked about with you, like with the sidekick and other people. Once you, I picked the sidekick because it's powerful enough to knock over your opponents. Like if you get hit with a sidekick like full force, your chances are 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get knocked over, and
Well.
you're gonna be done for. Like you're just gonna be demolished in one kick, and that's why I chose boxing punches because they have a lot of knockout power. They can.
Mhm.
Last time I checked, they can. Boxers can pack like almost 1,000 pounds of force in their punches, so they can.
Yeah.
A blow to the head will almost certainly knock somebody out, and
Mhm.
and which is very important in self defense because like once somebody's knocked out in one hit, then they can't do anything anymore. They just lost consciousness. So, um,
Yeah.
or their balance, and they give you enough time to escape. So,
Yeah.
you gotta really think about like are these techniques really gonna save my life? Because um, because if yeah, you can land your hits, but what's the point if of practicing your techniques and everything? If your attacker, if all he has to do is pull out a gun or something, or a knife, and just attack you with it, then you're really screwed.
Yeah.
Like like
Yeah. See?
like I've heard about this case of this this karate girl. She and I shared it before. I shared it on the wall. This karate girl, she was a girl named Meredith Kercher, where she she got attacked by multiple people.
Mhm.
It was a girl named Brandon Knox, and, and another guy who had a knife. They both had knives. They were arguing, and they locked her in the room. They locked themselves in the room too together. So it was two attackers and her, and they got in an argument, and then they and then uh, and then they got into it. Like they got into they just attacked her, and she did her karate techniques and everything, landing her punches, landing her kicks and everything. And
Mhm.
but that did not stop them from attacking her at all. And
Yup.
they just kept stabbing, slashing her, and
Ooh.
yeah, and they ended up like I think they ended up one of them like Amanda Knox. She ended up like trying to she landed some I think she landed some low blows to try to disable her. Um, but they ended up raping her, and then they just slit her throat and she died. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That
man.
was horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really bad to really hear yeah, fellow martial artists getting killed too. And it just sucks, because yeah, like self defense, yeah, like people need to be open minded that in a situation like that, like when you're at knife point or gunpoint, you need to kind of like people need to really look at like need to figure out are my techniques effective enough to save my life from like saying like at knife point, are my are my like are my techniques okay for me to really you know uh like can I just like do something like is my throw gonna be effective, is my attack gonna be effective, is all these things that I've studied for a long time, are they gonna be effective against what I'm gonna face, so yeah, like in that case I felt like that woman, she was prepared, but in the end she still died from that cause, and I feel really bad for her because not only for her but her family. Like I feel that once they found out, that she's gone, it's sad to hear. I would have been in retaliation, be like I want to find those people. I want to find those people, and I want to like straight up like beat them.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
and her mom, I think her mom, I don't know who, but I think it was her mom. Yeah, her mom was outraged. Like, it was just like really devastated by it. It was on the news too. It was all over.
Hmm.
At the time it happened, it was all over the news, and everybody was pretty much outraged by it. So, yeah, in that situation, um, she landed her hits and everything, and she did the techniques correctly. That wasn't really enough to stop the attackers. Um,
Yeah.
and that's that's why it's really important to study to really um, base your stuff on science, like what Bruce Lee did. He did his research. Um, he figured out what worked and what didn't work, and he said you got to test everything out. Like you got to the these techniques are what work in the street and stuff, and and it's not just about being tough. Like it has nothing to do with being tough and taking hits and like in sparring because attackers they can take hits too. Like they can they can take a hit to the chest. They can probably take hits to the ribs.
Hmm.
They can take body shots even, and especially if they're on drugs.
Hmm.
If they're on drugs, then their pain tolerance is probably sky high. Like
Yeah.
and so your techniques really aren't going to work on them.
Hmm.
And so I mean, you at the end of the day, you're going to have to do some really violent things, like 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 knock somebody out or
Yeah.
break their limbs or something like that. Like, and I mean, I
Hmm.
don't. That's why I never really believed in the whole. Oh, you can defend yourself peacefully. With a wrist lock, this fancy wrist lock, or a weird, you know, um, or this fancy joint lock or something like that. Like no,
Hmm.
I get people who ask me, how do I how do I defend how do I gently put down this attacker? And it's like, to be honest, you can't. Like, it
Hmm.
that there's if you use too little force, then it's not really going to be effective enough to put them down. And of course you don't want to use too much force, um, but there's really no way around it. Like there's really no way uh you could gently like you could gently um deal with your attacker without hurting him or her in some way. Like I don't see it
Hmm.
happening. And I mean, I thought of all the possible scenarios, and I've come to that conclusion. I mean, I thought of like, using rubber bullets instead of real bullets, and
Yeah.
but I realized, like, I mean, yeah, they could get shot with a rubber bullet, but they could still. I mean, if they're still conscious and they can still move, they can still shoot me with some real bullets.
Yeah.
So it's really like there. I mean, bottom line is you just gotta get your hands dirty, um,
Hmm.
in order to end things the way they should be. Like, in order for your self defense training to be best, and I feel like a lot of people in the self defense community just really aren't. They're just not ready for it yet. So,
Yeah, and I agree too. Like, you know, like, and for my whole life, you learn to be polite. You learn to, in martial arts, you learn from other people saying, "Oh, you need to be nice to your opponent." But no, in a situation, oh heck no. And from when and growing up, you always learn to spare your opponent. But I'm like, no. If someone's out there to kill me, I will have to do the same and kill them. Don't be like the movies where the opponent or the main good guy spares the bad guy. No, you don't do that. If a guy's about to kill you, oh no, I'm breaking an arm, I'm breaking a leg, and if he does not stop, I'm gonna have to break his neck just so that he can't hurt me anymore. Because if I break his arm and leg, and yet he's still there to break me, I'm gonna break his neck. I'm gonna give you two warnings. Like, one warning, I'm gonna break your arm. If you're still gonna attack me, I'm gonna break your leg. And if you're gonna attack me a third time, so help me, I will I'll have to like end you miserably to to stop you. Because yeah, like what you said, I can shoot a rubber bullet, and yet they're still gonna get up, and then they're still gonna shoot me. So it's a sign that, what, you gotta finish them off fair and square. Like, you gotta beat them up, and you gotta show no mercy. It's like MMA. It's like MMA or the UFC. When the opponent is down, the other person's just gonna get up and smack that person. He's gonna just pound that person. You gotta do the same thing. Once they're on the ground, you gotta go straight at it at them. Because they're not gonna care if you're on the ground. They're gonna do the same thing. So might as well when they're on the ground, might as well go at it and just go whack it. You know, because that's the instinct. But in most martial arts, you're taught not to fight dirty. But at the same time, you have to, because you know, some people, you have no choice but to fight dirty. You have no choice but to go at it and really show your true self to them. And be like, you know what? If you're gonna hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you. Twice as hard. You gotta have that momentum that if they're gonna hurt me, I'm gonna hurt them twice as hard as twice as hard, so that if I win, so that they don't come back and bother me. And that's one thing I want people to really understand, is that if you're fighting a person, if you are trying to attack this person, or this person's gonna try to attack you, give them a warning, give them a heads up, like, oh yeah, like, attack them until they're until they're all bruised up, but give them a warning, telling them, hey, I'm gonna give you this warning, and if you don't stop, I'm gonna have to hurt you as hard as I can, because and if they still attack, yeah, go ahead, do whatever, break his arm, break his leg, and then if he still doesn't stop, break his neck. For God knows, like, sorry for using the Lord's name in vain, but I'm like being serious. Like, that's how it is, and being told to spare your opponent, no, that's wrong. Don't spare your opponent, but don't kill him unless it's necessary to kill him. If it's necessary, go ahead. Who cares? If the cops aren't gonna do anything, go for it. I'm not gonna be like Batman. I'm not gonna just stop hitting him and then let him go. That'll get because what if he comes out of jail? He's gonna do the same thing, and then I've gotta hunt him down. I'm gonna have to find this person once he's out in the news saying he's out, and I have to really take him down, and the cycle goes over. So instead of doing that, I'd rather end him so that he can stop, so that there's, once I end him, that's it for him. So I don't have to worry about him. I don't have to worry that, oh, that he's dead, and he's, he's, I don't have to worry that he's alive and all that. No, he's dead. He's not gonna bother me. He's not gonna do a thing. He's not gonna bother society. That's over. So yeah.
Right? That's how it should be. So,
Hmm.
because like if you once you show any sort of hesitation, then your attacker could use that to his or her advantage, and then you've just you've pretty much just dug your own grave. Um,
Yep.
you you've made a terrible mistake. So you gotta go 100% with it, to survive and stuff like that. So that's why in my self defense system, we pretty much I pretty much teach combative anatomy, like knowing what parts of the body to hit, knowing what techniques to use knowing which techniques pack the most power, the most speed, um, and stuff like that to make
Hmm.
sure that you pretty much have the best techniques and the best chances of survival. Um, so and that's how you pretty much know which techniques actually work for self defense if they're done right. So that's pretty much
Yep.
all. That's pretty much all I have to say uh,
Hmm.
for this podcast. At least, you got anything else you want to add or talk about?
No, I'm pretty done. Yeah. Thank you for having me. And it's really great to speak out because there's a lot of stuff that needs to be shared around, and it's really good. We should do this sometime. So
All right, guys. So that's it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed this talk. Um, like, subscribe to my channel, share this video, comment. Let me know if you want any self defense lessons, and I'll see you later.